Yes, no, without a doubt. If you're gonna let it down, you gotta have a fan.
Try to show off that 2-in-1 shine and bounce.
So awesome.
Pump up the volume.
All right.
The different one.
I see you.
When's that from?
It's the same glass that you had.
Oh, it's just different wine?
No, that's the Barbera that.
Oh,
you had
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
We'll mix that with the Zen.
Welcome in to the Dynasty Happy Hour Open Bar. It's ladies' night. It's ladies' night, y'all. We're getting LAF, not lit, but ladies as fuck tonight. That's what it is.
L stood for.
Yeah. Well, it depends. It really depends on the context. You can just say, you know, I'm super laugh right now, or like we are so laugh right now, or we're like laughing it up right now. I mean, it's really all about the context.
2-for-1 specials for everybody.
I'm about that life.
Welcome in though. We're here every Wednesday, you know, 9:30 Eastern. We're live. We have drinks. I brought 2 tonight just in case I need to double down. Because we really have a full house tonight. We even had another box going, but now it's we'll figure it out later. Hopefully we can kick Tim out eventually, but we'll see. Welcome in my co-host though, J Mike. How you doing, man?
Man, I am fantastic. I don't know if you know this or not because we're all up in our fantasy world right now, but it's NBA's opening night there in San Antonio at the AT&T Center. Go Spurs, go. And it's about to get live. So I must confess, I will be half watching the Spurs game as we do this. So full disclosure, I'm about that life game. So sorry about your sucky Lakers sign in the back. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm not ready for basketball
Spurs, what are those?
all year for
I don't know. Champions? Whatever. Do what you do, man.
I'm just still mad at Robert Horry, man.
Big shot, Bob. Sorry, Lord. I didn't mean to put you off. I'm just saying. Opening night is a big deal to me.
No, it's a big deal to everybody. I wish I was into the NBA more. I live and die by NCAA basketball. I just don't care about the NBA.
Well, Lorna, don't be rude.
Can't help it. I'm very
He's coming
selfish.
on being rude AF.
Yeah, you're really raffing right now. You're super raff.
I apologize.
By the way, real quick, Lorna, since you're first up to introduce yourself here, you can go ahead, tell us who you've got with you tonight, and also just take your victory lap if you need to from last weekend with your orange.
Sure. So this is Otto. He's named after the Syracuse birth. He turns 3 years old in 3 days. Yeah, he's named after the mascot of the greatest school ever and the football team that just knocked off number 2 Clemson. Got a great in-conference win. Got revenge on them from last year's shutout, 54-0, which was extra fucking frustrating because that was what killed my ticket that day. I took the over 54. We couldn't even score a field goal to win me a few $100, but that's why you don't put money on your team. That's why it's bad luck. And that was the team that lost us Eric Dungy for the rest of the season that, you know, really dashed our hopes because Eric Dungy is the lifeblood of that football team. And, you know, it's exciting to see what he's capable of coming back from those concussions. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm really looking forward to a good matchup against Miami.
If we have any Cuse people out there listening, like, you're in luck tonight because you're going to learn a lot about a lot of people that we don't know about at all.
Okay, come on. Eric Dungy is the number 4 quarterback in college football right now. You should know his name. He is really rising up everybody's radar.
He might be a Jaguar next year. We might need to know him, Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe, when we go to the draft, we may need to know him.
Hey.
If anything, I know somebody's really got to save the Giants because your current quarterback's not doing it.
There is that.
It's true. There's a lot of issues at quarterback in the NFL right now. So Lorna's a repeat guest, as well as Casey, a repeat guest. She didn't come on for ladies' night. She came on for mixed couples night. And and it was great. It was great.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great to watch me go.
No, you went the wrong way.
Oh wait, I was like that. Oh, I was like, yeah, boy, I got it.
You were great. You were.
I got a little crunk on that little lit, little passed out on the couch right after the show was over.
Crunk AF, calf.
Calf. I got
All
calf.
about context. All right, and well, sort of a newcomer, but not entirely a newcomer. We really have. How could I be so rude? We have people from the official LFO Fantasy League this year. We have, well, myself and J-Mike, of course, kind of heading that. But then we brought in some ladies. We brought in Casey. And we brought in like an actual fan of LFO in Stephanie. And she reached out on Twitter and we hooked up. And now she's in the league crushing it. By the way, I think we'll get to that in a little bit. But what's up, Steph? How you doing?
Hi, what's up? I turned my camera on this time.
Right, yeah, we were blessed with the voice last time, and now we get video.
Well, because last time I didn't know that this was live. I didn't know that there was video involved. And then I came in and I saw Brad from LFO there, and I kind of lost my cool. And there was no coming back from that. I wasn't going to turn on my camera after that. That was too much.
Weren't you having some issues with your shower last time too?
Well, I thought about that, and I have a turtle tank or two in my house, and I'm thinking maybe that's the noise that you were hearing. But the filter on the turtle tank, maybe. But
okay,
I wasn't
Tell us
taking
more about turtles.
Please, yes. Is one of them named Donatello? That's really all I need to know.
Oh shit! I'm gonna send it to turtle. Oh.
The big one's name is Michelangelo, though.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, I mean Donatello is my favorite, but my kids picked the name. They picked
Michelangelo is the best.
So he's Mike, but he goes to school. But it was still summer when I was on here before, so his tank is running out there. I think that was the shower that we were hearing.
Look,
it wasn't me.
What you and your husband do,
hey,
a couple. Hey, you know what? do what you do.
Speaking of couples, look at these segues just happening beautifully tonight. Speaking of couples, I'd like to talk to the better half of the Quantum. Hello, little pan left, pan right. What? Okay, thank you. All right. This is ladies' night after all. It's Mrs. Quantum Turner. Welcome to. I don't know if you can hear me because I know
No, she can't hear you. So basically,
she can't hear me, so she's just okay.
But she's
Okay.
the lady.
Oh, shit,
She's
she
the
can't
lady.
I was
Wow.
gonna make up whatever you were saying, but she can hear through my headphones. I was gonna be like, what Gabe said was he appreciates my patience for allowing you to be here as arm candy, but I wouldn't say that. Gabe said that because that's the kind of guy he is.
Oh, here we go. About to bring my wife in here.
Mine too.
Yeah. Get all the wives in here. Let's go.
So yeah, we have Bree Turner, the reigning champion from our league last year, beat me out. So there's that. Don't listen to anything I say.
How's luck?
Hey, look, my wife joined a league as well a few years back and she didn't win outright at the end of the year. Neither did I, but she did beat me in season. And we still talk about it to this day. The Packers defense on a Thursday night scored like 2 pick sixes, just crushed me.
You know, not only did she win, but she streamed her defense and her quarterbacks. No, you had Tom Brady. You didn't stream quarterback. She streamed defense and tight end all year long, all by listening to podcasts that I recommended for her.
Living the stream.
That's
Those are the most easily streamable positions. That's for sure. I've never cared about QB and tight end unless you got to start a couple of them. Well, welcome in, Turners. Turning heads tonight.
What's up, Gabe?
All these ladies.
What's up, J Mike?
Hashtag Team Turner. I like it.
Team Turner.
Dude, there's way too much fantasy football in this house. That's for sure.
There's no such thing.
That's what I was going to say,
Exactly.
Lorna. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Hey, I'm just glad that you decided not to record from whatever dungeon you were in, and we stayed with Martha's Jailhouse collection in the background. I really do appreciate that.
I thought about wearing my Kentucky Derby hat tonight just to set it all off, but
Shut up.
Shout out to Kentucky.
Can I go get that for you?
That's all I got.
actually,
Impressive choice on the curtain selection, Mrs. Turner. We think they're lovely.
yeah, she didn't take them out. We were this close to me wearing makeup and
For ladies' night.
everything for ladies'
A nice
night.
wig?
Yeah. Well, the only wig we had in the house was a
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands wig. Man, it's a long story. I don't want to talk about it.
Come
Is
here.
it like Tyler Perry mixed with Cruella DeVille type stuff? Or?
Stop.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made me look female. It had just made me look angsty.
Okay.
It's your shirt.
Very
More
nice.
wifeys.
That was my wifey.
Wifey's very nice.
She's bringing me wine. And she said that Tim has my shirt.
Wine fee. Love it.
That's the only thing she said when she came up here. Yes, your shirt.
Dude, how's your shirt?
She does the laundry,
I
right?
thought you said it's the first time you met him. Why does he have your shirt?
Yeah, right? You guys are way closer than I thought.
Open
Whoa.
bar causing home shakeups and such.
Stop it.
I do appreciate the compliment on Twitter there, Tim, that I am the funniest lady of them all. So,
But you gotta put your hair down, girl.
But you gotta let your hair down.
okay.
Shake it out.
Take it out. Come on, Pert Plus.
Yes.
He's got it.
You did it.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't she lovely?
Oh, shit, you got a voice.
Dang, I see you, man.
I'm trying to think of a singer with hair like that. Michael
With that,
Bolton?
I was busy being beautiful.
Do you know any Michael Bolton lyrics?
No, sadly, no.
Neither do I.
I am Michael Bolton.
Oh.
All right. Hair's down. Long hair, don't care. We're going. It's on. Casey, I want to.
Yeah.
So, draft. The draft is in Dallas next year. We just got that information today. I'm excited.
Going down. It's going down.
We've already established that we're meeting up. Any of
Mhm.
y'all that want to come down? I know Lorna,
I'm
you're a
the Dallas.
Cowboys fan, so
Oh, I've already booked.
Yes.
I'll
okay.
be there.
Yes.
See you there.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It'll be my first draft.
Me too. Me too.
Yep. We're
And
gonna
I don't know if y'all have ever been to AT&T Stadium, but it is
Yes.
beautiful. It is a
The
freaking
best.
station. It is gorgeous.
So they're having it in Jerry World.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
are. No hotels, no outside the hotels. Like Jerry World.
Just pack AT&T Stadium. It's going to be done bigger and better than any draft experience before because Jerry's hosting it. There's not a fucking snowball's chance in hell I would ever miss that.
So
Amen.
when you first put feet down in Dallas, what is the thing to do? What's the first thing to do?
My personal first thing to do is go get tacos and margaritas.
That's
But-
good.
Barbecue is another good. Going to get some. You go to Heart 8 Barbecue. That's a pretty solid place. Sunny Brian's is one of the it's one of the most famous barbecue spots, and it's the most delicious thing you'll ever have. So that's what my first thing to do is go get something to eat that I can't get back in Boston.
So the only bummer part about that, Lorna, is that you're having the second best barbecue in Texas and second best tacos in Texas. That's the only issue with that.
Oh,
Hater. Oh, you mean she needs to come up to McKinney and go to Hutchins, right, for a barbecue? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm a big fan of Sonny Bryan's. I like that old school, like very traditional, like authentic barbecue feel. There's one thing I don't like to do fancy, and that's barbecue. McKinney Ave is not necessarily where I would go for barbecue.
Oh, not McKinney Avenue, just McKinney, Texas. Like,
I'm sorry, you said McKinney.
No. That's where I'm from. But like, okay, so Hutchins is like one of the top 50 or whatever they say in the world or whatever. Yeah, we're talking barbecue now. What? Gabe was going somewhere else though.
I was just trying to talk about Zeke, and then we started talking barbecue.
Yeah, but like, hey,
we can talk about Zeke. Casey and I can collaborate over this another time. Don't worry.
We can also collaborate about Zeke, so we can.
Yeah, exactly. So Zeke, what would you like to talk about with Zeke?
Give us a love. Well, for one, you're one of like the best media people that I've ever met, and for two, you're like in on the Cowboys. So
hey, do you do the NFFC?
You're in law, so
yes,
this
ma'am.
is all you.
I went there.
Yeah, me too. I was the one running around like crazy with my phone in everybody's face because, like, fun fact. There was one social media person for a 10,000 square foot venue.
And it rained on Saturday or Friday or whatever.
More weight than I expected to. Let's put it that way. I had abs by the time the whole shit was over from freaking running.
It was huge.
Yeah. But yeah, so Zeke, this has been really challenging for even me to keep on top of because my schedule this semester is pretty heavy, but I'm trying my best because I want for my last semester, next spring, to actually for credit do an independent research study on this whole issue with Zeke, mainly the constitutionality of arbitration agreements and arbitration clauses in collective bargaining agreements, because even outside of the NFL, there is a huge history. There's a very long history of athletes being taken advantage of all the way up to the Olympics when it came to arbitration clauses. So I'm really interested in that. And then on the other side of it, another class I'm taking this semester is domestic violence in the law. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be giving a presentation on...
Oh, Lorna.
Oh.
Always cutting us off.
No, it's crazy. There's that's why I said, what do you want to talk about? There's so many angles you can go. It's such a big deal. It's such a multifaceted deal.
Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, the presentation.
But we got you for the most part, I think.
It's domestic violence in the NFL and the history of it. It's, again, very fascinating when you look at it from a policy perspective.
All right. So thoughts from everyone. Do we think he's like actually going to be suspended sort of again? Or like how many other things can happen? Because it always seems like he fights back in some sort of way.
I'm tired of this shit.
Like back with an actual axe or something, because he just finds something to fight back with. But thoughts? I mean, do you think he's going to actually stay and have this restraining order hold for the rest of the season, or temporarily, or what?
I mean, okay, so first of all, I got a text from my dad at 6 o'clock this morning because he lives in Pennsylvania, so he doesn't understand time zones. And he's like, I'm so sick and tired of this Zeke shit. Just like do it one way or the other. I'm so fucking tired of it. I'm like, Dad, dude, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I thought there was an emergency. Anyway, I don't fucking know because it's back and forth. But the way the whole court system works, like, dude's on vacation right now, right? The judge or whatever, he's like, he didn't give a shit. He's got Zeke on his team.
Here's what's interesting now, though. It's like at the beginning of the year when we were talking about drafting, it was interesting because Zeke was going to be one of the best, maybe the best running backs in the draft. And so for fantasy, right now, Zeke's the 9th best running back. So we're not even talking about like one of the top 5 running backs performance or points wise right now. And yet there's still this I don't know things surrounding him. So regardless of what happens, doesn't it feel like the urgency about like, for fantasy owners, doesn't it feel like it's backed off a little bit just because as of right now, you have 8 running backs that are putting up more fantasy points than Zeke right now.
Yeah.
I think Tim, it's funny that you bring that up. I think the real problem becomes if this keeps dragging out and people don't have him for like, I don't know, weeks 11 through 16, when like you're finishing the year and then going to the playoffs, people will lose their minds. I mean, people.
So you're like,
Twitter will be ablaze.
Should have just taken the first 6 games or whatever. And
right. So obviously this is week 7, and I feel like people will lose it. What were you saying, Lorna?
I mean, the whole just take the 6 games thing. Like this when it comes down to it is so much bigger than football.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't want to be labeled for one thing.
I get the sentiment. Like, trust me, I can understand it. But when you're being accused of something that you just you are saying, I did not do this, it becomes so much more than about like screw fantasy football ordinance, even screw Jerry Jones, screw everybody but me and my name and my reputation right now, because like other people are going to be affected by the outcome of all this. Like I definitely don't blame him.
Not at all.
I'm on the camp from a legal standpoint. I'm on the camp that this whole suspension gets thrown out.
It's so stupid. It is so you see shit every day and you're like, really? Like he doesn't have there's nothing to stand on compared to some of the shit you see.
I think that if it's gotten this far, especially in the Southern District of New York, every step of the way, there's 4 elements that need to be fulfilled every time something has gone in Zeke's favor. And the most important one of them is that every judge who's ruled in his favor on a motion finds that there is a substantial likelihood that the case itself will win on the merits, which means that all these judges see a really viable case that Zeke has, better than what Brady had when Deflategate was in the Southern District of New York. There's a few key differences, and the NFLPA needing to distinguish them is what's going to win this for them. And so far, I think they've shown that they're pretty competent at finding exactly what it is they need to keep this going forward. And even though most of us are in the minority, there's quite a few league following that also think like the NFLPA is eventually going to win on this, and it's going to be a huge precedent-setting, thing that's going to happen to the NFL.
Yeah, and the funny thing about arbitration is, so I run a finance company, and one of the things we learned is if you set up a contract with a clause for arbitration, whoever is pushing for an arbitrator is the one who wants to have the upper hand. Because if you are a company who wants arbitration rather than, trial by jury or trial by a judge, if you're afraid of class action or anything else, then you're the one that really wants that third-party arbitrator to come in and make a neutral ruling. And in this case, it was the NFLPA. NFLPA, in circumstances like this, were the ones that have always pushed for arbitration on rulings like this. And so you have to believe that if this goes to arbitration, and this truly is a neutral third-party arbitrator, that based upon everything leading up till now, that arbitrator is going to have a really hard time swimming against the current of what the judges so far have ruled. And so I'm with you. I think Zeke gets out of it at least this year and maybe completely. So I'm not afraid of him as a player, like because of the ruling. I'm from a fantasy perspective, if that's what we're talking about, I'm afraid of him as a player based upon offensive line play and what's been happening so far this year and where he is right now.
It's almost
Yeah.
like it's almost like right now, if you have him, you need to be making contingency plans, or life without you. You think you just ride with it, Tim?
But the contingency plans are what? You're either going to draft DMAC or Alfred Morris or both, which is stupid advice. Anybody that tells you to draft both is an idiot and doesn't understand bench depth. But you can't pick anybody. Like, why would you want either one of those guys as a starter? I don't understand moving forward. If Zeke didn't play, why would you want those guys? I don't get it.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think that it's limited to picking up Morris or McFadden.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant on that team. My bad.
No. I just mean contingency in terms of like for your specific fantasy team. If I have Zeke on my team, is this a time where you look at maybe possibly trying to move him or seeing what you can get for him, or you just ride it out?
Depends on your team. I have him, but I also have Le'Veon Bell and I have Todd Gurley, so
show off.
he dropped that far, so I snatched his ass up, and then I picked up Adrian Peterson this week. So but no, it depends on your.
Is that a 6-team league? What the hell?
It's that 18 league that those two bitches didn't show up for.
Ooh.
I'm gonna win that money.
But to your point, J-Mac, I think everybody is still so high on Zeke. I don't think he's a possible sell low commodity. I think it's going to take something black and white, like Zeke isn't playing, to rob him of what he earned last year, what he's capable of, what he brought from Ohio State. I don't think you can buy Zeke low, and I don't think you can sell him reasonably. I think if you own him, you got to ride him out. But I would probably be looking at somebody else on my team that I could get rid of that maybe isn't going to keep performing, that could replace Zeke once he goes out, if he goes out. And there's a bunch of wide receiver 1s and 2s right now that are probably going to be on the outs here very soon.
I think Alf looks the best of any, really. I don't even know why McFadden's much of a talk. Seems like he's been he hasn't been active, so.
But they're keeping him on ice, right?
Yeah, I guess they're just kind of saving him up for something that happens to Zeke. But I don't know. Even in preseason a little bit, Alf looked like he had a little pep in his step, and he looked all right. And that seems like that offensive line has not been as good as it was last year. I mean, I know they lost a couple guys too, and maybe people are figuring out a little bit. But Zeke has had some trouble with that line. So just imagine a guy like Alf trying to get through that line. So I don't know.
I love Alf, though. I love
same team. I don't know if I'm interested.
But it's also hard when you don't know who to pick up between McFadden and Alfred Morris. It's like you're kind of shooting your shot and hoping that,
But yeah,
I'm gonna just keep that moving. Like I said, I don't. When we're talking about it in the chat, for those that may not, for those that are listening to the podcast version of this, we've got a live chat obviously going on YouTube. 9:30 Eastern on Wednesdays, and we're tossing it back and forth just in terms of, hey, how many shares do people have of Zeke? Right now, looks like not a ton of people do, at least in the chat, but just a great point in that at this point, I don't know. At least it's for me, just to kind of put a bow on it. If I did have him anywhere, the chances are really high. I'm trying to move him and just get whatever kind of value I can, just because I don't want to be banking on him come playoff time in my fantasy playoffs and not have him. So on a fantasy level, that's where I'm at. Obviously on a humanity level, very much like Lorna was saying, obviously if I'm a guy who knows I did nothing wrong or feels that if I've done nothing wrong, obviously I'm fighting this to the death. But for purely fantasy purposes, I'm trying to move him. That's just me though.
Well, and that's why I gave Zeke to Gabe in Scott Fishbowl, but then it backfired on me because Aaron Rodgers got hurt, so I got screwed either way, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at it from we can move past Zeke. I mean, it's great. Look at it from a math perspective right now. It's like Zeke if you're thinking about like McFadden or Alf, neither one of those guys, like if Zeke goes out, it's going to be between both of those guys. It's not going to be either or. They're going
Don't
to
forget Rod Smith.
Rod Smith.
And Rod Smith to the rotation as well. He'll
They're
get
down
some
back.
snaps.
Yeah, it might actually be a close to a committee, but you're talking about a committee that like Zeke right now is getting like defenders are getting within 2 yards of him after he touches the ball sooner than last year when he touched the ball. So just look at like the next in stats from last year. So the line is not doing what they did last year. So you're talking about who you're going to pick up out of a committee behind a line that's not doing as good as they were last year. Zeke's not doing as good as he was last year. Like if you own Zeke, I think you're just looking somewhere else if you're worried about him not playing for the rest of the year, and that's it.
To be fair about going back to that 9th overall running back, Tim, I know that he did have a bye. So on a points per game basis, he's 6th. So not bad, but definitely not
That Broncos game.
like a 3rd overall kind of player for sure.
Is he 6th? Really? Damn.
In points, just in points per game. But yeah.
So before we even go into any other crazy player news or anything else that's going on, I feel like we're not doing justice right now, Gabe, to our LFO listener league.
Agreed.
And
You guys gonna do some
I
LFO
want to
trivia?
talk about it.
well, I don't really want to talk about it either, but I feel like I kind of
I want
have
to
to
talk about it.
address.
No, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
I won one game.
we have to address the elephant in the room right now, and that's the fact that last week, Caleb Smith, shout out Caleb on Twitter, we took on the Orange Tootsie Pops, and we happened to have the owner of the Orange Tootsie Pops with us this evening, and Stephanie took us to the woodshed, 151 to 133, and she, the Step Brothers are reeling right now. We're sitting at 2 and 4. Life is not good in Step Brothers land.
Could be worse.
But to shout out, I guess it could be worse. but we got spanked something awful, and so Stephanie's sitting at 4 and 2. So Stephanie, just to bring some fun to life right now, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm still hurting a little bit, and I'll keep from crying. Tell us about your team. Tell us about how you're feeling about life right now within the Lit Fantasy Organization Fantasy Football League.
All right. Well, I'm still at a point where I feel bad when that happens because it wasn't on purpose, but that was a pretty big that was a spanking.
You know what? I cannot stand idly by and take this condescension. I'm muting myself and I'm walking away.
Hey, where's your Snuggie?
Oh shit!
You're right. I need that.
I'm saying, come back.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know. I don't even remember what happened now because I'm focusing on this.
Because you
but-
won so hard. That's what you don't remember. You won so hard that your mind can't wrap it around. All that.
I don't know. What happened?
He got mad. He got mad that you're just absolutely crushing him and all of us in this league. You're 4 and 2. You're probably fourth or fifth place or so. You're looking good.
In contention.
In contention. The Orange Tootsie Pops. So let's talk about that for a second because you are the LFO aficionado of at least this crew and probably most crews.
Everywhere.
So what is that?
The Orange Tootsie Pops?
Yes. Is that because is it an LFO reference or is that just something?
No, it's from an LFO song.
Okay.
So I picked the most inappropriate LFO song.
Oh.
And listened to it. And I found like a little clip, Orange Tootsie Pops, because LFO and their lyrics with the random words they use. So I found it. I asked my sister what she thought. She said it was good. I was like, that's my team name. It's done.
Orange Tootsie Pop.
That's great. And you even have the little icon to match and everything.
It's I don't know. I thought, me and the LFO guys would know it. Nobody else would. So it works out.
That too true because I
it went right over my head.
That is amazing.
It's from a song. It's from a song called "I Will Show You Mine."
Oh, that is risky.
Oh my god!
I mean, I was like
Hey.
15 years old and listening to this song, and my mom heard it. She was like, "You can't listen to this anymore." She's like, taking my CD.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
I gotta listen to this later. I want.
This is awesome.
Give us the line. Do you know the line, Stephanie? Right away, a little LFO trivia. Do you know the
do you
line?
know
that
the
includes
line?
I know.
Come
right?
on, Gabe.
All right. Well, it's in a little rap part of the song, and it says,
Rap.
"Orange Tootsie Pops and a Colgate smile." And I can't. Oh my god.
Bars.
Visions in my mind of me and her getting wild. It's pretty bad.
I gotta look up the lyrics to this freaking song.
This is great.
It's like some bump and grind stuff.
Gabe, I'm not sure what the rating is on our pod, but it's
This is.
There it is.
There it is.
That was.
I will
great.
show you mine.
Wait,
Shimmy,
hold on.
bubblicious.
Shimmy, cocoa pop, boogie down, fluffer, nutter.
Whoa.
That's the
Nutter.
next. That
Nutter.
Yes.
I barely
Wait,
know it.
you know,
right.
If you get with me, then there could never be another. Come on, everybody. Let's get down. I need a real love, baby. Won't you please come round?
Hey.
Question mark?
That's romantic, but I mean, Cocoa Pop, boogie down, fluffer, nutter.
Fluffer nutter.
I love that.
You know what
I know there's another one that references Scooby Snacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's Girl
What
on
is
TV.
it? Yeah, good. Yeah.
Girl on TV.
Yes. Girl on titties.
Girl on TDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your name.
That
Oh my god.
was when I was at the doctor's office. When I was at the doctor's office, waiting to get my lady parts checked out, that song came on. I was like, "Whoa, is this a sign?"
All
I get that $200. You gotta get that $200 insurance stuff. You know what I'm saying?
The OBJYN.
Yeah, OBJ, OBD.
Speaking of OBJ,
Yep.
that was a freaking awful,
Yeah.
awful injury. That I'm still not recovered from that. I still haven't watched Gordon Hayward's. I can't.
It's too much.
Yeah, I'm
Gordon
afraid to watch
Hayward
Gordon
is-
Hayward.
Traumatizing injuries at once. That's very scary. That's really awful. I know him going out definitely hurt a lot of fantasy people. Not to trivialize what he's going through, but that's another really unexpected, awful injury.
Yeah,
Mainly-
I wonder if it was because he was playing on that kind of those stretched out ligaments of his ankle. I mean, it seemed like he just never fully recovered from that early on in the season, and when he came back, you saw him limping throughout the game. So I just don't know if his foot was stable enough to land on it the way he did. Maybe he could normally and just fall down like he normally does. But I don't know. It just that was gruesome. That was gross.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I didn't see
Brandon
it.
Marshall, pretty much the same thing too. I mean, they lost their top two guys. Sterling Shepard with an
Everybody on the
ankles for
freaking
days.
Giants.
Roger Lewis.
I picked him up and dropped his ass this week.
Yeah. Evan Ingram.
So,
I have him.
Evan Ingram's a player right
I
now.
was like,
isn't Sterling Shepard coming back though?
Yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
I don't see the point. They have a bye next week. I don't see why they'd bring him back this week. He looks like he's
You might as well just get that draft pick.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Go
What
for
about,
Saquon.
Darkwa.
Oh God. This is a Wayne Gallman show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not.
Let me take a couple steps back. Payne Gallman, truther.
No, I'm not. I can't even say that.
Hashtag
Conviction.
cracking a smile. That's
So I mean, but crazy enough, they did go to Denver and get a W. So do we have any sort of? Are we having any sort of buy-in or any sort of? Hey, you know what, New York, we care about your offense and fantasy, because I'm not really feeling that that's the tone of the room right now? I feel like everybody's like, "Nah, man, get out of here."
But it's also hard when
no
you're a
way.
Cowboys fan to be here. Like, yeah, I have faith in the Giants.
I can't explain the Denver game, but I just I'm not a believer of the offense.
Hi, sir.
Oh, dogs.
They're everywhere.
I think we need some dog cameos everywhere. Everyone bring in your dogs.
Shiner, Penny,
Shiner.
Shiner.
Otto's coming in.
Want some more?
Hi.
Tim, you got any dogs, cats? Stephanie, dogs, cats?
He won't. He's just laying on the couch.
We just lost.
We're having dog cameos.
We just lost.
We had girlfriend
some
cameos.
viewers, so.
Yeah, I have dogs of the size of cats that I'm ashamed of.
Uh,
Hi, guys.
Why?
They brought me wine, and then they left.
So an actual update. Back to the LFO thing, real quick. Just an update on that league for people that care, because I'm sure there are a lot of people. That,
I'm in last, right?
Do care. Yeah, girl on TD. You're either last or tied with for last with
I'm so glad
Chinese food makes me sick. Levi Andrew, and then
so glad.
as far as other teams that are on the show here, Dave Mike, you said you were 2-4. You and Caleb both 2-4, right? But you stepbrothers 2-4, is that right? 2-4.
See, senor, 3 games back in the East Division, so
Gotcha.
not looking promising.
There's 2 of you, so you guys should be.
Stephanie crushing it at 4-2. Abdullah Crombie and Fitz. That's my team, 4-2. But
a good name.
So bad. I'm so bad. I was just talking in the group me chat the other day. I just feel so badly for being in the place that I am and scoring like third least amount of points. It's such a bad team. And
At
so
least
lucky.
you know what you're doing. I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm 4-2.
Yeah, but no, that's better. Like.
It's just
You can be like, I'm this like amazing savant who knows everything about fantasy football.
Stephanie's just putting salt all over.
He's got it. You know, it's like that. Yeah, no, you're like a shark. You're at the
Well, I'm not gonna lie. This has become quite the hobby for me, but it's still
you get hooked.
like
School
Awesome.
teacher by day, fantasy shark by night.
Shark.
I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. This got me nervous.
Can we double back? Can we double back to Aaron Rodgers real quick?
Yep.
Can we not?
You go.
Well, Aaron Rodgers breaks the collarbone.
Injury report, I guess.
What'd you say?
I said this episode is the injury report.
Every episode is this year.
Sadly.
The way it is.
Brett Hundley enters the room. Assumes the
$100 on Scottish Bowl.
assumes the cheese throne. Are we washing our hands of Packer special? Wow, Packer skill players.
No, because that was really like.
So what are we doing? What are we doing with Green Bay right now? And do you guys have any shares anywhere?
Yeah.
I have running backs and like Randall Cobb, and that's about it. And I'm not excited about that. I don't know. I think like Jordy will be safe, or maybe Adams, or they'll just kind of switch on and off. But it's definitely it's not the
hard.
same offense without Aaron Rodgers. There's
I have
just no
Adams,
way
too.
that there's no like they've got Jordy and Nelson playing as 2 top 12, 15 guys right now with Aaron Rodgers there, and that's not going to happen with Brett Hundley there. So I don't know. Maybe it's a boost for the running backs that are also in a timeshare. Between
What is
Montgomery
wrong with the
and
Packers?
it's like, I don't know. I'm fading a little bit on Packers. What about y'all?
Yes, I don't think they're very talented without Aaron Rodgers there. So,
Woo.
hey. Well, I heard that also on Dallas Sports Radio, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I just listen to my guys and just go with it, right?
Yeah, at least it's unbiased.
Yeah, I mean, if it would have happened a week before, we would have been so happy. The Cowboys would have been so happy if that shit would have happened a week before.
I don't disagree, but I hate when people get injured.
Oh, I hate that too. I do too. And this is
I'm super paranoid and I'm very superstitious. Just
Yes.
like I learned my lesson with putting money on my team, how bad that is. I can't like ever wish for injuries of like.
I never wish for injuries.
Especially of a legend like Aaron Rodgers. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so I don't disagree with you,
No.
but like I fear karma very much.
It's more of a joking thing, what you see on Twitter and shit, what everybody's saying. But like, we've seen Tony Romo break his collarbone plenty of times.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
You're like, every time you see it, you're like, I know exactly what that injury is. Before they even announce it, you're like, that's a collarbone.
Liar, right? Where Jim Carrey is forced to say one specific thing the whole time. Like, that's how I feel when it comes to things I'm super. It's there, but it's not coming out.
Excuse me, Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson are sorry, Tim. Where Devontae Adams is 5 and Jordy Nelson is 6, not top 12.
That's weird.
They're top 6, both of them. So,
when you look at these guys, I mean, all right, so they're playing. If we're talking about fantasy points, we're not talking about how good the Green Bay Packers are going to be. We're talking about fantasy points.
And that's how I'm going into it.
They're going to be playing against the Saints. All right, so this is going to be a team that's going to put up a fair amount of points against them, giving Hundley an opportunity to throw a lot of passes in garbage time. And you're talking, like, when you look at last year, you're talking about Jordy, who was number 1 for red zone targets, and Devontae Adams, who was number 3. So you have 2 of the top 3 red zone wide receiver targets going into a game that's probably going to be, like it or not, offensively, probably a pretty high scoring game. Look, I mean, like, I had the Saints defense by accident, pure luck. It was not fantasy prowess. It was not research. I got lucky streaming the Saints defense. They're not that damn good. They're not that good. So when you look at their matchup against the Saints, you can kind of go, man, you got these 2 guys that are huge red zone threats, huge deep threats in a game that's probably going to turn into garbage time. All of a sudden, Hundley becomes Bortles, Yeah. And now you're looking from a fantasy perspective. You have a guy who you have. Look, come on, don't get offended. Look, hey,
Hundley becomes Bortles.
Maybe if you had the Snuggie of protection on, it would roll right off of you too.
He does.
No.
Oh my gosh, great. No, they need to switch it up.
J Mike's got the Snuggie of protection on, but I mean, seriously, when you look at Hundley, like going against the Saints, like he's probably going to have a lot of time, a lot of chances to throw deep passes and some red zone passes. And I mean, I like both. I like Adams and Jordy now for totally different reasons than I liked them before.
So I'm so glad you brought that up about the Saints defense, Tim, real quick. And this is obviously in our LFO league, which I believe is for the most part just PPR, nothing special, no bonuses, right, Gabe?
What is that league? I don't even know.
Just PPR.
Okay, great.
Three wide receivers.
So obviously New Orleans started the season getting lit up by Sam Bradford week 1, getting lit up by Tom Brady in week 2. So -5, -8 those 2 weeks. The last 3 games, because they had a bye week in week 5. At Carolina, they scored 15 points, getting 3 interceptions off campus. At Miami, they score 14 points. Last week, they lose their minds against Detroit, go for 32 points. Not to say that because I haven't watched them, I don't want to sit here and pretend like I know, but they've been a defense that's performed the last 3 weeks amazingly.
Okay, but let's break that down. So let's break it down quarterback matchup, okay? Cam Newton can't hit the broadside of a barn this year, okay? Like, he's just not an accurate quarterback. Then you go into Jay Cutler. Like, again, not exactly the most accurate quarterback. The only one that stands out is Matthew Stafford. But that wasn't – when you watch that game, can we all say that most of those defensive points weren't Matt Stafford's fault?
Matt Stafford is like
and he was he gimpy before this game?
He's
No.
been.
No.
It's not just about gimpy. It's like, is something a tip? Is it, like those are just weird points. Like that was not a game that you look at and you go, oh man, this Saints defense is good every single game. It was just things went their way. Like for me, like last week, all I needed last week, J-Mike, I needed a good game from Ryan Suckup.
Ryan Suckup is my boy. Sorry,
Oh my.
but he is. Kickers are people, guys.
Dude, sometimes things just fucking go your way. And that's like when you have your first 5 scores as field
That's always.
goals. Shit, that's just luck. And the Saints had a lot of luck on that defensive points they put up. Before that, Cutler. Before that, I mean, like, yeah, like I how do you look at those 3 games and go, the Saints are for real as far as defense?
And I don't say that to try to boost them up in the least bit. The only reason I bring that up is we've got these situations every game where it's like, okay, Cam's not been good, or at least early on he started pretty terribly. Cutler's been awful. Stafford, I mean, that was an ugly game. But they're going to Green Bay facing a backup quarterback. So I don't say any of that to try to say, hey, go pick up the Saints.
But do you pick up the Saints?
Right, exactly. So I'm just saying, hey, they're going and they're facing a backup quarterback. Not to say, and I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. I really don't. But
and that's
just to think about.
I don't want it, and that's why I don't want to go after Bortles, and I don't want to go after Jacksonville.
No,
I know my audience. I know my
That's enough of you besmirching Jacksonville. Please, you gotta stop.
I know my audience. I'm just saying that this is a game that the Saints offense is probably going to dominate. Like they're probably going to put up a lot of points. And when Hundley gets behind, they're not going to be running the ball with a still injured time on. You like it's still going to be an RBBC there with their main guy injured. They're going to be slinging the ball, and Hundley is going to probably throw a few INTs. But I do think that either Jordy or Adams is going to put up a pretty big game, if not strictly just by PPC, by scoring standards. And so I'm not backing off of them because I think the Saints are still good. I'm just not backing off of them because of game script.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that we can look at just kind of week 7, I guess, for the Saints, but beyond, I mean, is kind of a concern to me. I was kind of looking at the schedule here. Week 8 is a bye, and then you've got Detroit, decent secondary, I guess, Darius Slay and company. Then Chicago, which is actually half decent. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, which have been great this year against the pass. Tampa Bay, whatever. Cleveland has been better-ish. And then finishing the season with I don't know. I can't see it. But Carolina, decent. Minnesota again, and Detroit. So I mean, I don't know. And week 17 you might not play against the Detroit again, but it's not a great schedule with Brett Hundley throwing the football. So maybe maybe after the New Orleans game and then after the bye, they'll see that, flashy wide receiver coming off a bye, don't have to worry about it anymore, and that you might have the opportunity to sell it. I don't know, but I'm not crazy about the schedule going forward. But it is a good point about probably going to be in catch-up mode quite a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Anyway, can we also one more quarterback injury I want to talk about?
More injuries, more.
No more.
No,
Done. Done.
These are situations that need closure. These are situations that need closure. And Lorna, I think that you're going to be able to bring some heat on this one.
Ooh.
I'm not sure, but I'm hoping so.
Is it a Syracuse
We've
quarterback?
got to it's not a Q's quarterback.
They're not in the league.
No. Oh, dang. I mean, Nassib is somewhere, right?
Nassib plays for Jacksonville under Doug Marrone and Tom Coughlin. Like, Jacksonville is New York's college football team in the NFL.
Gabe, you just had to go there, didn't you? You didn't have to get her started like that, bro. So
Sir.
we've got a Mr. Andrew Luck who's still not playing.
Never playing. He's never going to play.
Yeah,
So-
he's not playing. Hey, he's not playing this year.
I was
not
just going to
playing
ask, Lorna, are you expecting to see him at all this year?
Andrew Luck.
Yes. Andrew.
Andrew suck.
I don't know. This is a new development. Was this decided with Luck? I don't really follow the Colts.
He had a
Well,
cortisone
Today
shot
there was, yeah.
and some basically took the week off of practice and because he had a setback, and so
Okay.
just thing after thing. And the Colts are bad, so it's like
The Colts are just be bad for the rest of the season.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their front office thinks. I don't know how their organization really runs. I'm not sure. I got to be honest. Haven't paid attention to the Colts in quite a long time.
Does anybody have any Andrew Luck shares that they're like holding out hope he comes back?
Gabe doesn't Scott Fishbowl.
SFP.
So
I paid attention, Gabe.
So who are your other options then?
Well, I luckily drafted 3 quarterbacks in the first seven rounds. So I have Phillip Rivers and Carson Palmer as well. So I'm doing fine. You know, I've got a couple top 15, top 12 guys. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it, you know. I definitely wouldn't mind him coming back, that's for sure. I just put in waivers yesterday for a bunch of quarterbacks. I know you got Hundley, Casey. So.
Yeah, I spent all of my freaking money on freaking Hundley and Rodgers. I was like, well, I have Jameis Winston. Trubisky.
Gabe, how much money did you put on Bethard? Don't lie.
Well, so I had a lot of injuries in my SFB team to start, like not even start the year because the year hadn't started. It was like
drafting early.
Anunwa and Dixon and just all these guys that were just so borderline. And so I spent a lot of my money in week 1, like probably 85 to 90% of it. And I got like Amendola and Buck Allen, which are guys that have helped me win games. So I don't have much money left. I have $5 left.
He wouldn't have got Beathard because I put 100 on Beathard too. So
I put it all on Beathard. I spent $5 on Beathard.
We're in the same one, so you know.
Shout out to Doug Eddy, Beat Hard. $5 on Beat Hard.
Beat Hard, yep.
Even Fitzpatrick's still available in our freaking Scott Fishbowl. I was like, but who would I drop? Who would you drop? You know.
You know what's insane is that I
got Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, wait, I didn't even look.
We talked about this in one of the other ones, like where I'm one of the few people that went tight end 1 for. I think I went tight end my first 3 picks.
Okay.
And so I was going to – like my team was going to be suspect regardless, but I still somehow wound up with Winston and Stafford, and Kaiser. So I am riding quarterbacks and tight ends.
Yeah, you are.
This thing so hardcore. Like when you look at my receivers and my running backs, you're just like, are those guys college players? Are they NFL players? Are they fake players? Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, Scott Fishbowl is hard.
I went from 80-something to 200 and something this week because I had Winston and Rodgers as my quarterbacks.
What's your record?
I don't know. I don't give a shit. Sorry, Scott.
Here's a mess up thing. I'm 4-2 and I'm like 500th place. I'm like,
I won like a couple games. We don't know. I don't know. I've been paying attention to like points and shit. And I had like 80 points this week. I was like, I hate my life.
I'm 5-1 and arguably should be 6-0.
Dude, you're 5-1.
Yeah, and lost.
For real though.
Wait, lost do you have week 5 with the 3rd largest score in the Simba division? 3rd out of 60.
We're in the Simba division together, so it's Gabe versus me forever.
What's up, Otto?
Shout out to my co-host who is currently 112 in the Scott Fishbowl.
Oh shit!
Yeah, starting to make some points. I know we were making fun of my awful team a few weeks ago because I was like 500th, but I was undefeated. So now I'm kind of putting some points on the board. But
I'm 1-5.
You're on pace for a bye week.
I'm 3-3. I'm 3-3. I looked it up. Everybody else is 3-3 in our league too. So
Hey, Casey, do you use your actual last name on here? Oh, never mind.
Scott Fishbowl, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know on here. It's
What's your-
Roy.
Oh no, this isn't you.
It's
I was
not
about to say
Casey.
63rd. What?
I'm
Never
not.
mind. Not,
There's some other guy that has the same name as me, and last year I kept getting people sending me direct messages on Twitter saying it's your turn to draft. In some league, I was like, no, it's not.
Tim's holding it down at 545 right now.
Hey, I'm 4-2.
You are 4-2.
I'm 3-3.
Lorna, I'm about to look you up. Any last words before you take this L right here?
Where am I?
I already threw my awful record out there.
Wait, I can't find you.
It's hard when you try to look for your name. You start looking for your name like really high up, and you're like, wait.
I go by Mighty. Most people that I know on social media don't use my real name.
I'm just trying to control F here to find you, and I'm not finding you.
Well,
Speaking of records, Mighty, what the in your name, you have that in your name, a record, and I'm assuming that's a week by week thing. What's that in reference to?
That's a Cowboys record.
Come on, boys. I'm going to that game on freaking Sunday in San Francisco.
Yikes.
Oh, very nice.
It's my anniversary weekend, and my girl was like, we're going to go see the Cowboys play in California.
Wait, who are they playing?
That's awesome.
We're in San Francisco. Last year we went to a game. I think they were playing the Eagles last year for our anniversary. She knows me.
That's a terrible game. That's a terrible venue.
Yeah. No. We were at home, so it was okay.
Oh, okay. That's better. Yeah, no. Lincoln Financial Field sucks.
Yeah. But we're going to go out to San Francisco, but all those fires are going on right now. So, like, I wanted to go to wine country, but ain't happening. Sorry, guys.
Box wine it is.
I was just about to
Box
say,
wine.
speaking of wine, we have to go to our
Tim?
aficionado. Exactly. Tim, what's the grapes du jour tonight?
It's not a box. You were hoping.
The box? Black box?
You were hoping it was another box.
Get it?
Tonight we got some Joel Gott.
Oh,
So
I thought that was like Jared Goff for a second.
Cheers.
So
Jared Goff
Jared-
makes it
yeah.
wine.
Wine by
We got
Jared Goff.
Crying into
we got a Jared Goff Zin.
better than a Jared Goff win.
Jared Goff of wine.
Jared Goff of wine. 1 week you're really happy with your wine, and 1 week you're so depressed.
Just seasons. Hey, by the way, which is funny because I am a Jared Goff truther. So
Well,
I like me
I'm
some
gonna
Goff.
shut up.
I'm Goff the wall.
I'm gonna shut up about how I had to pick him up this week because
dude,
Off
JJ,
the wall.
JJ and I got into a Jesus Christ, it had to be a 60 response argument about golf last year.
you just tell me.
My argument was based off of his performance in college, which wasn't like the strongest place to argue from, but it was like where he was in college and what he was good at versus like him in his first year in the NFL where he couldn't hit the ground if he tried. And it was like, he can only get better. Like the dude can only get better. Like he was a deep ball specialist.
True.
And he got Sammy Watkins, which
That's helped him so well.
Yeah, well, when you looked at Sammy and Tyrod, I mean, it's not exactly like Tyrod was a dump off player or middle of the field player. Like he was a deep ball player. I was like, it'll all add up. Yeah, I mean, like Goff has done well, but not for the reasons that I thought. So I was wrong.
Have you turned your head and golfed? I'm just asking. I don't know. For a friend. I'm asking for a friend.
I'm going to go hard right turn for a second. Out of everyone here, obviously there are currently 6 of us at the open bar right now. There are 2 of us who are not in the Scott Fish Bowl. So Stephanie, I have a quick question for you, man. I'm not sure if you know this, but in the Scott Fish Bowl, it's like, I don't know, 700 some odd people who are basically in this league. And they're most of which are named after the divisions that they're in. They're named after Disney characters. So you got 5 seconds to tell me if you're any Disney character, who would you be? 5.
If I'm a
4.
Disney character,
Yes,
Yeah.
3,
Rapunzel.
2. Ooh.
Let down your hair, girl.
Get it, girl.
Swoosh, swoosh. Swish, swish.
Why
Swish, swish,
Rapunzel?
swish.
Rapunzel.
Why Rapunzel?
Because she's cute.
Oh, that's true.
I like
What's up, girl? Girl. What's up?
Because she's cute. All right.
I mean, that's the number one reason to go after a Disney character, right?
Back to you in the studio.
I mean, he's pretty hot, right?
to be fair, I first thought of Prince Eric because he was my first love.
Oh, yeah, he's nice.
Fair enough. I'm not mad at that. Laura, what division are you in? Because I have to find you before we end this.
I'm not in this fishbowl thing.
Oh, no,
what?
she's also not in this. Next year she will be
I
there.
thought you were saying you were in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Oh, you were 1 and 5.
Oh no, I threw out my record for my fantasy
Oh,
league.
got you. Okay.
Next year, Lauren's going to be in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Well, no wonder I can't find you.
You
On
hear
this
that, Scott?
Yeah, I didn't know what you were. I thought you were looking on ESPN or something because that's where my league is. Yeah, no, I'm not in the thing. But if I was a Disney character, I'd be Pocahontas.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey.
they voted, right? They voted on a bunch of different Disney characters. I don't know if Pocahontas made it, though.
What about Mulan? Because she's a badass.
I don't think Mulan made it either.
Ooh.
Did she?
Are
I
you?
don't know, but Lorna, you are in my bag right now.
Those are both like really legit, like Disney characters that are
All
like
3.
strong, proud.
Rapunzel too. All 3. Great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all 3. I wanted Simba because I was like a child when that movie came out, and
I've always liked young Simba. You know, growing up.
oh yeah, young Simba.
Growing up to be the king.
Because you don't want to be Matthew Broderick. You don't want to be old Simba.
No, you
'Cause,
want to
like,
be JTT.
yeah, JTT. Thank you. I had a poster. Okay, so I like girls now, but back in the day, I had a JTT poster in my bedroom. No big deal.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I did.
Scholastic Book Fair, like, you know, like, I want that JTT poster. Home Improvement, yeah.
All right, Tim, Disney character. Who would you be?
Aladdin.
First love.
Ooh, good one. And
Aladdin.
what division are you in, Scott Fish Bowl?
New princesses.
I want to be Aladdin, but I'm a new princess. But I want to be.
I love that.
Scotty.
To be fair, I think Scott did it on purpose because I told him, I was like, dude, just match me. I said, match me up against anybody but Mike Clay.
Hey, don't be salty. Don't be salty.
No, I was like, dude, just put me in any division that Mike Clay's not in, and he put me in Mike Clay's division. I was like, yeah, I'm
That's
sure
why
that
you
was-
don't ask. You
that
just
was an accident. So hey, I'm doing all right.
hey. So next year, if I say I don't want to be in Tim's division, Scott will be like, "Put me in your division, and we can play each other."
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We should.
Oh, and
Hey.
also,
So going into this week, here's one thing I'd like to hear from everybody. Gabe, J-Mac, Casey, Lorna, Stephanie, like, who is the player you're most excited about this week on your team? So when you look at your team, like I do a lot of daily, so I'm a daily guy. But I'm interested. Who's your guy this week, and why? And why?
do I have a guy?
Oh, my guy is always Zach.
Oh. Yes, I tried to trade for him, and nobody would give me him.
Zach Ertz is my guy every week, and he's an Eagles player, and I'm a Redskins fan. So it's pretty horrible, but every week I'll take Zach
So why Zach Ertz, Stephanie?
because he does well every week. Every week.
That's pretty obvious.
That is
Duh, J. Mike.
that is so good.
I mean, you didn't have a lot of red zone usage. That's always kind of been the issue is he hasn't had a lot of touchdowns, and then last week that's all his points came from were touchdowns.
It's
So
not even like every single week he performs every week. I'll take that every time over
And that's how I wanted
anybody
that,
else.
like 2 years ago when I had him. Like, why couldn't you be like that when I wanted you to be like that?
Hey,
Sorry,
Tim,
sorry, Casey. Love Ertz.
I remember.
Like, you know what? It's fine. You know what? I don't care if you're nut Zach Ertz.
Love Ertz.
Yep, my
That's
Monte
good.
Balzac
That's good,
hurts from
Trent.
that one.
Take Zach Ertz.
During
Hey, Tim, are we limiting this to anyone? I mean, are we limiting this at all, or just anybody?
Anybody, I just want to know who you guys
Ryan
love this
Sucko?
week.
Okay, I'm all up in your bag. Hey, Lorna, I'm all up in your bag right here.
And
Give me all the Prescott.
Yes, I have him going, baby.
All the Prescotts this week going to the big
Where I'm there.
pair of jeans, going to the big jean stadium this weekend.
Yep.
And I think he's just about to just do absolute wreckage
Murder.
to San Francisco.
Murder.
So give me all the Dak. He's coming off the bye too. Like it's
I need a lot of Dak to Dez.
Yeah.
You get the Dak, I get
Oh,
the Dez.
yes.
There you go.
I'll take it.
So obviously I'm looking forward to seeing Dez perform. I got him, I'm starting him. But what I'm like most excited / conflicted about are my quarterback and my lead running back. They are Devontae Freeman and Tom Brady. So I'm basically just hoping for the highest scoring game in history.
Mm-hmm.
And I might just have to put a ticket in for that night too, because it's also the rematch of the Super Bowl. That's my favorite game. It's always a Super Bowl rematch. So I'm just hoping for a good, really Otto.
I'm going with Otto this week. I think Otto is going to be like 25 points and maybe like a couple turnovers. I think Otto is.
Stop.
give me
If I had to
all
pick
the
out of
cheese.
all the dogs that have been on this podcast, I think Otto is probably my number one pick.
All the cheese.
I almost got my dog up here.
Cheese.
Come on.
I love cheese as much as Otto loves cheese. Like, I will break my diet for fucking cheese.
What's
Come on.
mommy?
Steph, where's your dog at?
Jack.
Your dog's name's Jack? That's awesome. Is it a Jack Russell Terrier?
No, he's a pit bull. His
Oh,
name
even
is
better.
Jack Daniel.
Oh.
Oh, he's got
Shiner, where are you at, Shiner?
he's got a middle name. What?
Jack Daniel.
No,
Well done.
he just sleeps. He doesn't do anything else.
Dude,
But
if I could be anything in the world, it would be a dog.
Me too. He's a big, ferocious looking pit bull that everyone's afraid of, but all he does is sleep.
That's that freaking dog down there. That's like cardboard. Oh, but I'll bite you in the face. But if you bring cardboard,
No, he won't hurt a fly, but everyone's afraid of him and thinks he's awful and scary, but he literally lays there all day.
all right. Then I will draft Jack as my number one wide receiver. We got it. So Otto is my quarterback.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Jack
His
is my
name is
wide receiver one.
his name is Jack Daniel.
Jack Daniel.
That's
Better than Owen Daniel, guys.
after the drink I drank.
Oh, Owen Daniels. Wow.
Owen Daniels. Yep, we're going back into the bag.
Yeah.
Gabe, let's get it. Who are you riding with this week? Ride or die?
Well, I'm afraid to take one from. I have two. I kind of have two that have excited me as of late, and then one I'm excited for, kind of in the future rest of season, but and this week really too. But
See.
ASJ is that I love the zero tight end concept. It's
That's
just it's Kelsey, Gronk, Ertz, and then it doesn't matter. And I said a couple of weeks ago that it was Clay that might pop in there as well, just because Jordan Matthews was gone and you might be able to get all the targets. Well, I'm switching that position to ASJ now, and like he could he's already. This is how bad tight end is. He's already a top 12 tight end.
That's ridiculous.
And he didn't play the first two games. His third and fourth game were not great. And he finally jumped on the scene 5th and 6th and started catching touchdowns. McCown's actually playing like okay, and the Jets are like competing, and that's his guy. and him and like Robbie Anderson or Jermaine Kearse, whoever he decides. But the constant is ASJ, and especially for the red zone looks, they don't have a guy like that. So I legitimately think that ASJ can, at the very least, be a top 10 tight end, and the potential to be a top 5 guy right outside of the top 3 guys, of course, but because they're untouchable. But I think from here on out, ASJ is a viable option going forward, and I'm excited. I don't even care who he's playing, but I'll play him week in, week out. I have to. I'm playing him in so many leagues. I own him like 80%.
I want to own him, which is the sad thing, right?
Yeah.
This little wine wench, she keeps bringing me wine. She had Charles Clay, right? And he went bye-bye. And I was like, Austin Severi and Jenkins, if I didn't already have 2 viable tight ends, that would be my guy. And you know what that little wine wench did?
She took his
ass up. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. One of us will win money. We can take each other out on a date. I don't care. Whatever. I had to drop her name. Her name's Sarah. I have to drop it one time during the podcast because she's like, you and I are going to drink the same amount of wine tonight, but I'm not going to be on a podcast and you are. And unlike Tim, I just gave up on trying to even have her be in the podcast. So.
Fair enough.
Short.
I'd like to know.
Other guy I'm excited, Josh Doxson. Log out.
Has anybody dropped Jamison Crowder?
Everybody.
Everybody? Has everybody dropped Jamison Crowder? No?
Not me. Because
is it because there's nobody else to pick up?
I have to keep my Jamison Crowder because I have to have a Redskins player on my team.
Go get Rob Kelly or
and I've somehow acquired like 3 Eagles players. So I really can't.
So what you're really trying to say is you wanted to make a grand announcement on this podcast that you are no longer a Washington fan.
Yep, you heard it here first on the Dynasty Happy Hour Open Bar.
Yeah,
Stephanie, the 4-2 Orange Tootsie Pops.
Yep.
Let me bring those lyrics up again. Shimmy, Cocoa Pop, Boogie Down, Fluffer Nutter, Stephanie Fuller. Yeah.
Eagles fan.
Miss
Eagles fan.
On Twitter at Miss
# Eagles.
Fuller is now the biggest Fly Eagles Fly fan. It's cool.
Die
Never.
Eagles die.
Never.
It's Can I tell you guys something about fans of teams that are in my division?
Well, I'm sorry, Casey. Wait, 1 sec. I just want to let me run through the Stephanie Gauntlet real fast.
Let's do that.
So she's only got Jamison Crowder, again, the LFO league, on her bench, just chilling.
No Chris Thompson?
This is how much she loves the Eagles.
Oh, stop with Chris Thompson.
She's got
that's my boy. I met him.
Not just Zach Ertz killing the game. Not only does she have Nelson Aguilar, who's been getting it in, she's got Philly's kicker, Jake Elliott.
That was my sister. So you guys are like both idiots.
Out of 2 kickers that she could have, she's got the one for the Eagles.
I mean, and you know what's best? I dropped Hopkins. I dropped Hopkins for him.
You dropped your kicker.
Nice.
Well, then they
Eagles
got rid of him.
You're an Eagles fan.
Kickers aren't people, right? Kickers aren't people.
You're an Eagles fan.
I'm telling you.
It doesn't matter.
How does this even happen? I'm not sure. But the Eagles are my least favorite team.
Look,
I would love to have Zach Ertz on my team, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't give a shit.
Stephanie, here's the beauty of this podcast, the Open Bar. This is a place where you can come and be yourself. So if you want to come out and be
until the lights come on and everybody
come out of the closet and be an Eagles fan, it's cool.
Never.
It's okay.
Never be an Eagles fan.
Now, Lorna,
you and I can agree on something.
Lorna may never talk to you again. I don't know.
No,
but
I'm okay.
I was born a Redskins fan.
Redskins fans are at least nicer than Eagles and Giants fans. They are assholes. Eagles and Giants fans are assholes. Their team can be 0-5, 0-6, and they'll be like, I don't give a shit. Dak Prescott is a piece of shit. I don't give a shit. Des Bryant is a little crybaby. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck off.
Okay, but to be fair about the Cowboys.
Don't start, Tim.
Like, hold on. Like, to be fair about the Cowboys, all you guys would have to do is spend $100 on a set of curtains, and your stadium would be so much more appealing for people to fucking play in. I get so sick and tired of watching games in your stadiums where quarterbacks are like,
That's why I give him some
Is
cool
that,
like
is that how
stutter
you get
shades.
people over to your house, Tim? Because of the
Oh yes,
curtains?
with a wino. He's got the nice curtains though in the background. so.
like, hey,
Look at him.
Number one, I'm pretty good at
The
curtains.
Cowboys are gonna play in Tim's house now from now on.
But can we all just agree that like it sucks when you're watching a game and like people are just like they have that like Darth Vader fucking like
Okay,
evil
as a person
right
who's been
eye.
at one of those games, I agree. But whatever.
She agreed.
When you buy a house, you don't go, "Oh, lighting here sucks. I'm not gonna buy this house." You're still
No,
gonna
you buy a set of curtains.
exactly.
What happens if you build the house, though, Casey?
Well, if you buy the house, you're an idiot.
No. If you
No,
build the house.
yeah,
If you
Jay,
build the
I-
house, you're also an idiot.
Oh, okay.
No, if you build a house and you're a woman versus if you build the house if you're a man. We just
What if you
Really?
build a house and you're like, I don't know, $1 billion
No.
and 15
Okay, so we bought a house. So my girlfriend and I bought a house that was built in 2015, and it's got too many things wrong with it. But a man built the fucking house, right? It's Jerry Jones's fault. It's his fault.
Back,
So
Guess
speaking
what?
back on
Gabe.
track. Back on
Guess what,
track.
Gabe?
Hey, you guys see what I did with curtains? With
You did curtains.
Yeah.
It sets it off
Well done.
just like that.
Okay.
Curtains.
Lorna, say your piece.
She
I
knows.
was just going to say a few moments ago, it was tweeted that Ezekiel Elliott's team in the NFL have discussed the possibility of a settlement. So that was tweeted 9 minutes ago. So that's a pretty interesting development. Sides only ever bring up settlement when they know they have no weapons left in their arsenal.
Yeah, and if you have an arbitrator, that means that it's not one side or the other. That's usually split down the middle. That would mean Zeke misses something.
Oh, exactly that. Zeke's they've got to have something on their side to get the NFL to even bring up settling, because you got to think like this goes beyond just what happens to Ezekiel Elliott. This goes beyond just how this may influence the next negotiation for the CBA. This comes down to Goodell's leadership. It reflects on his legacy. In a way that like a president's administration would reflect on them. No matter the outcome of this case, it's going to change the future of the CBA and the NFL. So this is all going to reflect on Roger Goodell. So settling is coming up. They really must be running out of options because they know they can't risk humiliating them, like in continuing a fruitless court battle. So this is just such good shit for a law student. I love it.
Oh yeah. Lorna nailed it. She's super smart. She understands.
Yeah, she's super smart.
No, seriously. Like most.
No, I know, but like, she's super smart.
Like, most people don't read something like that and immediately understand every single fucking implication of it. And like she literally just outlined.
No, you have to look at that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, like every possible implication of that announcement, she just covered perfectly. It's like this is one of those things where like
People want, even then you're super smart. People want to jump to conclusions without even like really looking at what is going on. So they should listen to what Lorna has to say, because like what she said encompasses exactly what needs to be said.
You know what else is very exciting to me about this whole thing is that you've got people who are so interested in sports who maybe don't know the law. Most people don't know the law. They're asking questions. They're asking, what does this mean? What does this mean for Zeke? What does this mean for the league? And they're following like lawyers and legal analysts. And when you see people say, well, he was proven innocent in criminal court, like, no, he wasn't. That is so wildly inaccurate. And you've got people who can impart a little bit of knowledge and help everyone learn. It's great that people are so fucking interested like in how this all works. I think that's really important. I think that's a great thing, especially with all of the social justice issues that are, at the forefront of the league right now as well. Wonderful. I hate to say that about Zeke in his situation, but just finding the one silver lining of it, I think that's really great that people are getting interested in what all of these things actually mean.
Preach.
I work at a courthouse, and I see temporary restraining orders come in all the time, and I don't understand anything when it comes in. I'm like, because I'm the person that just looks it over and makes sure everything's like filed correctly. I'm like always thinking about Zeke, and I'm talking to people that work with me. I'm like, what do you think would happen if this happened in our county? Like, what do you think would happen with Zeke? And like, we're all Cowboys fans, so we're biased, whatever. But
No, not at all.
you have a leg to like stand on for certain things. You're like,
it's good to make inquiries. It's good to know because
it's really interesting. It's super, even if it like is frustrating as fuck.
It's a lot. It's great. It's good. It's good stuff.
Like Days of Our Lives, like
That seems to be what the NFL is coming to.
Like Sans.
Well,
we are a freaking soap opera.
I'm shocked ratings are down. How can you not want to eat this shit up? This is more dramatic, and it's approaching the point of becoming more ratchet than Love and Hip Hop. So if they can keep
they want to make money off this shit, they should start making a freaking reality show.
The NFL can't keep the ratings up. This truly is actual reality TV. And it's sad.
And people want to look at it and watch it.
Talk about the issues that are going on in the NFL in such a way. But and whatever.
Well, the ratings are down if you ask CBS, but they're up if you ask NFL. So
That's right.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
there's some differing opinions on that, and who the math actually supports is kind of crazy. So, J. Mike, who's your guy this week?
J. Mike, give us your guy. Let's wrap this thing up.
I had went with macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
Oh,
you were
yeah.
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
That's right. My bad.
I was macaroni and cheese, Dak and Coke. Lorna
Dak?
went with
Jesus
Des Bryant end of the
Christ.
combination.
Dak in the box,
I told you I wanted to beat her to the
Dak
punch.
to the future.
Which I am I support your decision on that because my podcast needs a little bit of Cowboys receiver love because
Bryce Butler.
yeah, like we were
I love Bryce Butler. I don't even.
we were like out of the gate. We were so pro Dez. Like this is just a
No,
like,
everybody was though.
No,
No?
like everybody was anti-Dez. We were pro
Were they?
Dez. Oh, everybody's been anti-Dez.
I feel like everybody was like, I'm pro Dez, and everybody else is anti Dez.
No, Dez was all like his matchups are bad for the first 5, and then he'll be
Okay, they put those
mean.
charts out. They put the freaking I get it. I was like that at the first game of the season. I was like,
So who didn't make their picks yet, other than me? Gabe.
It was just,
Everybody?
I think it was
ASJ
just
and
you.
Josh Doxson, baby.
It was just you, Tim.
Tim was the only
Spit
one.
it out.
I'm still trying to look because my
Let's
team
wrap
sucks.
it up, Tim. Come on. Grapes of
All right.
draft. Give me your guy.
Great.
All right, here. No, we're not going to do an episode this week, so I'm going to spit all the fire right here.
Say it.
We're going to shut it down this week. I just got a lot of stuff going on, so here you go.
Fair enough.
Tight end this week, Delaney Walker. Threw it on Twitter earlier.
Oh,
If you can get some shares of Delaney Walker right now, here's the math. He's playing against the Browns.
Period. You don't have to say anything else. Period.
Right? And that's it.
Period.
About it.
But here's the math, kids.
Nope.
Here's the fun part. Here's the fun. But if you guys know me, you know me. I like numbers. So average
Yes, I like
Browns expected points against from tight ends have been about 10.8, something like that. Actual is like 18.7. So there's an 8+ point differential for tight ends against the Browns versus what is expected. And you have Delaney Walker with a quarterback who looked good but didn't look great, but who's really leaning on him going into this game. Love Delaney Walker against the Browns this week. Should be his biggest game of the year. So, Carolina, by the way, Luke Kuechly's out, probably, right? I think we all agree he's probably going to be out.
Yeah.
When Luke Kuechly is out, you have overall PPR numbers that are 5 to 7 points higher against the entire defense, but running backs especially crush running backs. So pass catching running backs against Carolina when Luke Kuechly is out is 7-point differential. This might actually be the week to look at Tariq Cohen and go, me, I love Jordan Howard. Love Jordan. He's a monster. Fucking love Jordan Howard. But this week against Carolina, Tariq Cohen may be a really, really strong player. Those are my two favorites this week.
Okay.
All right.
The joystick and the larger joystick.
I was like
I don't know.
Just let that one breathe.
Too many joysticks.
the joystick and the stick.
Yeah.
The stick.
There you go.
The kind of okay stick.
So,
I like
of all
Actually,
of our guys, whomever this week, just random, and then we can close up shop game. We've all picked at least one person. I'm going to make sure that on Twitter, I'm going to verbally bombard and harass whomever has the person that scores the least amount of points this week out of all of our guys that we just chose. So I've written them all down.
So
Casey's still thinking. So Casey,
I got Jimmy Graham. I got Jimmy Graham
Okay, great. So
against
The quarterback.
the Giants. I'm gonna go Jimmy Graham.
Hold on. I got to get this in, please. I'm sorry, everybody. J. Mike, Gabe, you have to back me up on this. You remember when I said a healthy Chris Carson was worth more than DeAndre Hopkins?
I do remember you saying such things.
Where are we?
So DeAndre Hopkins, the next two games.
Has a bye week?
No. The next two games after that. 4 receptions for 52 yards, 2 receptions for 19 yards after my prediction. Now, granted, his 4 for 52, he did get 3 touchdowns, but those 3 touchdowns are half of the touchdowns that he scored all year long. So that's 3 of the 6 that he scored all year long. That is a statistical anomaly. But you Jake at NFL Draft Talker, mother effer, gave me a lot of crap.
Wow, mother effer. He's bringing out the big guys.
Gave me a lot of crap for saying that Chris Carson was
You piece of crap.
over DeAndre Hopkins because he said it was such a great floor. 4 receptions, 52 yards, 2 receptions, 19 yards. I rest my case.
Court adjourned.
He is resting.
Mother effer.
Mother effer. You mother effer. Knock.
Come at me, Jake.
This is the Judge Judy of fantasy football right here, Tim.
Okay. And we're cutting it off. Let's say our goodbyes.
So sad to leave.
This has been good. I'm not surprised at the length of the show whatsoever.
8-hour podcast.
Thanks.
Can it be on
Thanks
till
for jumping
midnight?
in. Thanks
I don't
for
know.
watching us. Thanks for kicking it with us live, and thanks for kicking it with us on the podcast. Probably got to hit that on. Atta girl, Stephanie. Got to hit that on. Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Tim, stop.
Oh, Tim, what is?
On,
I would start, but we're not gonna do it.
Keep talking, Gabe.
Okay.
Okay, and with that, ladies' night is concluded. We do not need this. This is harassment. We are done.
Okay.
If you were wearing a wig, it'd be different, Tim.
Tim, share some love with whatever you've got going on. Nipple takes, anything like that. If you want to show your nipple again, feel free.
Tim.
No, I have nothing other to share than if you are one of the people who think that all of the ladies sharing Me Too statuses are too much, getting a little bit overwhelming or annoying, you may want to reconsider your position, assume that you might be part of the problem. This is something we need to take seriously. If you don't understand what the whole Me Too thing is about, please look it up and understand that even the littlest acquiescence on our part as guys, something that I'm guilty of, is worth reconsidering a different way of behaving in our workplace, our churches, our group of friends, or anything else. This is the first time that I can remember that women have stood up together and shared very, very personal things online. And I can't imagine the amount of courage that takes. I can't fathom that. And as males, if we are to be true men, we really need to take that seriously. And I'm sorry, that's not what this was meant for, Gabe. I know what you meant, but it's important to me. I have a wife, I have several daughters, and this is, just my mini platform. So there you go.
Stay woke.
Preach. I'm with you, man. If you're anywhere on Twitter right now, you probably know what Me Too is, but yeah, we're good night to say it. Right? I mean, I might be kind of cliche and basic to if people think that or whatever, but it's a good time to bring it up and say it. So it's great. Good looking, Tim. Stephanie, share some love if you'd like. I mean, whatever you'd like to say, whatever you'd like to share.
Who are you and what are you all about?
Yeah, just give us the details on the shower head that you use, things like that.
Things like that. Exactly. People are trying to sell their houses like me. Let's go.
Did you address me?
Yeah, I was just saying our goodbyes. We're giving you an opportunity to say goodbye.
Who you are? What's it about?
Thank you for having me on. I tried to show my pyramid.
Oh shit, she got it going on.
Well done.
A pyramid.
A plus. A plus, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me. It was a fun time. Sorry, I don't know as much about football, but
Stephanie, we love you.
You're 4-2.
She knows a ton about football and LFO. She's like multifaceted.
It's my first year. I plan to get better with age.
If you're gonna get better, you're gonna be like blowing up in season 2.
Exactly.
Hey Stephanie, can you show that pyramid again, please, so I can do a print screen?
He loves print screens.
Yeah, no, show that nipple.
But there's one thing that Tim loves besides wine. It's print screens.
Get a print screen, Tim. Let's see that nipple one more time.
No,
not Stephanie's nipple. This is Tim's nipple.
The words and actions of Gabe Gearing belong to Gabe Gearing and Gabe Gearing alone. They do not reflect the views of the Open Bar or his co-host, John, either. So, yes.
Although I did see the thing that was tweeted out about the whole picking up and carrying thing. But we're going to go on.
It's true. He is carrying the show. Thank you, Jamie, for keeping me in check. All right, Lorna.
You got it, 70.
Do your bit.
Let's see. The most exciting thing going on in my life is Otto turns 3 years old in 3 days, and
number one.
Yeah, and I turn 33 months from today.
Woo.
So
33 months or 33 months?
In 3 months. So 3 months from today, January 18th, I turn 30. So I'm officially at the tail end of my 20s, and I'm graduating law school in May.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been a lot quieter the last, several weeks on Twitter. I've just really been trying to buckle down and get things in order for the next step that's coming up quicker than, I can really even think about it. So
that's why she knows everything about everything.
Oh, it's my forehead so big. It's so full of secrets.
Well, we caught you on a good week then, and I'm glad that you could get on with us. And thank you for doing it late notice.
I followed her tonight. Everybody else.
The second time you've been on, and the second time that you've come in the clutch. So much.
Everybody should follow her because I followed her tonight because I think she knows her ish.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I do my best. And the stuff I don't know, I'll laugh at me with you, so it's fine.
She's good.
All right, Casey.
Hi.
The crown.
It's a crown. Run the jewels.
Tell us about yourself. Run the jewels.
Run the jewels. My name is Casey. Last time on this podcast, I told you guys that you should follow me at the Casey Kasem because my parents are idiots. But my parents are not idiots. They wanted me to be an individual. I'm an invisible. All right. Follow me at the Casey, Kasey, Kasem, the Casey Kasem, and I don't do any writing. I don't do any podcasts. I just hang out with these guys and these girls and talk a lot of shit about shit. follow me. That's it. Just follow me. If you follow me, you'll probably make my entire year. So just do it. Just do it.
That's easiest follow
Right, Gabe?
ever.
I mean, it's the coolest thing
I
ever.
guess I should follow you now.
You should follow me, Gabe, because here's the deal. Gabe said he wasn't going to follow me because there was this whole thing about how we both lived in Texas and Austin was better than Dallas and all this other shit. I don't know. And he's like, I'm never going to follow you for the rest of my life. But I think if you live outside of Texas, you should follow me. If you live in Texas, you should also follow me.
Follow Casey for the Texas takes.
Texas, TX, throw up the X. We're cool. We got it.
All right, J Mike, show me some love.
Yeah, man. First of all, thank all of our guests. Thank you all for coming on with us. Obviously, as Gabe would always say, we wouldn't have a show without you.
You probably would.
So, and to everyone listening on the podcast as we continue to work this out, obviously several weeks in, but thank you guys for sticking with us. And if you're still listening at this point, you are a trooper or you're my mom, one of the two. So I appreciate that. And just a quick update. Looks like the Spurs are currently up 10 at the moment on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So to you, Tyler Gunther, suck it.
Oh,
Suck
shit.
it. Yes, I said it.
It's getting real.
To our boss effectively here at.
Yep, I'll have a new co-host next week.
Yeah. So with that being said, go Spurs go. Screw you guys. I'm staying home.
Nice.
So if you're looking for a new job, please send your application to Gabe on Twitter.
I'm a large man with a beard and I'm friendly, so please don't let the looks fool you. I'm sorry. Soft spoken.
You are super friendly, dude.
Don't try too hard in your application. I want to make sure that I stick around a little bit too.
Hey, you can't have a
Oh,
gay,
shit.
hey, you can't have a gay cowboy outfit without Spurs.
You know what? I will.
Look at those assless chaps, yo. Assless chaps.
Guys, I want to tell you something. That's actually what I've been wearing the entire night.
Oh, no.
Is
Don't
It's assless chaps. Assless chaps. Assless chaps. Would that not be the most amazing end to a podcast ever?
Oh,
No,
boy.
the most amazing would be
Like
Ashley
ends.
Chaps, and he kicked up a set of Spurs.
It would be the end to the podcast. Like, it's never going to happen again because, like, nobody.
So after this conversation, I highly suggest you guys never invite me back.
You want to be invited back. Don't act like that. You don't care about assless chaps. You don't.
Yeah,
care.
welcome back for the third
What I'm
time.
saying is be
Tim.
warned.
Tim,
Be warned.
if wine's involved,
No.
you are okay. with it.
Oh, all right.
You see how Tim's wife is not around anymore?
That's the story of my life.
Assless chaps equals Tim's wife is gone. We don't know.
Well, thanks for joining us this week.
Thanks.
I'm Gabe. He's J Mike. These are ladies, and that's Tim. By the way, thank you for your lady showing up there on the side as well, just to keep that ratio
Good to go.
dominantly in favor of the women. So
Gabe,
being it ladies' night and all.
every
Yeah.
time there's a ladies' night, more men show up to ladies' night than women because they think, what's up?
What's up? We'll see y'all next Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday live, 9:30 Eastern. We might run for like 2 hours, which is typically how we do it on a ladies' night.
Who's not here this week,
Anyways,
though? Who's not here
people-
this week?
Hey,
That
but
was
you
here last week.
Cheers up towards the camera.
Ain't out.
All right, we will see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
And deuces.